The decision to embrace a long-distance relationship marked the beginning of a challenging period for Lucas and me. Despite our best intentions and the plans we had made, the reality of being apart proved more difficult than we had anticipated. As he settled into his job in New York, the distance began to take its toll on both of us. In the beginning, our regular visits and video calls provided a lifeline, keeping our connection strong. Each reunion was filled with joy, and our time together felt precious. However, as the months passed, the strain of conflicting schedules and missed moments started to wear on us. The excitement of each visit was tempered by the inevitable sadness of saying goodbye, and the emotional roller coaster became exhausting. I threw myself into my work with fervor, channeling the frustration and longing into my art. My bold spirit drove me to take on new projects and challenges, hoping to fill the void left by Lucas's absence. Yet, no matter how many accolades I received or milestones I achieved, the emptiness lingered. The Aries fire that had fueled my determination now flickered with doubt. Lucas, too, found it difficult to balance his new responsibilities with the demands of maintaining a long-distance relationship. His once vibrant energy began to wane, and I could hear the weariness in his voice during our late-night calls. The warmth and ease we had once shared were replaced by a strained politeness, as if we were both trying to hold on to something that was slipping through our fingers. Our disagreements became more frequent, often over trivial matters that masked the deeper issues we couldn't articulate. I felt the familiar urge to fight, to push through the challenges with sheer force of will. But this wasn't a problem that could be solved with determination alone. Love, I realized, required more than passion. It needed space, understanding, and a foundation strong enough to weather the storms. The turning point came during one of Lucas's visits. As we sat across from each other in my living room, the unspoken tension finally came to a head.
Mara, I don't know if we can keep doing this,
he said, his voice heavy with regret.
I feel like we're both losing ourselves in the effort to hold on to something that's not working.
His words cut through me like a blade, but deep down I knew he was right. I had been so focused on preserving our relationship that I hadn't allowed myself to acknowledge the toll it was taking on both of us. The realization was both heartbreaking and liberating. I love you, Lucas, I said softly, tears welling in my eyes. But maybe love isn't enough this time. We spent the rest of the evening talking, reminiscing about the beautiful moments we had shared, and acknowledging the challenges that had brought us to this point. There was no anger or blame, only sadness, and a mutual understanding that our paths were diverging. The love we had for each other remained, but it wasn't enough to bridge the gap that had grown between us. The days after our breakup were a blur of emotions. I oscillated between grief and acceptance, my heart aching with the loss of what could have been. Yet, amidst the pain, there was a spark of resilience. The experience had taught me valuable lessons about love, vulnerability, and the importance of staying true to myself. Months later, on a crisp autumn afternoon, I found myself wandering through Central Park, lost in thought. The golden leaves crunched beneath my boots as I walked, the cool breeze carrying with it a sense of renewal. I had come to New York for an art exhibit, eager to immerse myself in the city's vibrant energy and find inspiration for my next project. As I turned a corner near the Bethesda fountain, my shoulder bumped into someone, sending the coffee cup in his hand tumbling to the ground. "Oh no, I'm so sorry," I exclaimed, instinctively reaching to help. The man turned to face me, and for a moment I was speechless. He was strikingly handsome, with sharp features and a warm smile that softened his intense gaze. His neatly styled black hair and tailored coat gave him an air of effortless charm.
"It's okay,"
he said with a slight accent, his tone both amused and reassuring. "I think my coffee didn't like me much anyway." I couldn't help but laugh at his lighthearted response. "Let me buy you another one," I offered, feeling a surprising sense of ease despite the awkward situation.
"Only if you join me,"
he replied with a grin.
"I'd hate to drink alone."
As we walked toward a nearby cafe, chatting about everything from the weather to our favorite artists, I found myself captivated by his presence. There was a spark in his eyes, a vitality that mirrored my own. It was too soon to call it fate, but in that moment I couldn't deny the excitement stirring in my chest. Perhaps this was the start of a new chapter, one filled with unexpected possibilities.